Welcome back to the channel, boys. How's it going? Girls, whoever's watching. I've always say boys, but like we've got an actual girl in the community that is absolutely kick ass. So like I need to quit doing that. I need boys and girls, whatever. The SCX30. Yep, got one the other day. And I get what the hype's about. Pretty cool little rig. I did see somebody on Insta, though, say that the thing needs absolutely no upgrades. It's awesome out of the box. Let me be the first to reassure you that that is a lie. This thing is going to need some upgrades. It's very top heavy. It has no front end weight bias. The shocks, whereas they are in a decent position and have some adjustability with extra holes and such, it always seems like the way I like setting my stuff up, there ain't a hole for it. So I've actually made another hole for it. We'll get on that another time. So in trying to correct the weight bias, I ended up getting some brass rod. Let's see here. What did I do with that other stick of it? Anyways, I got some brass rod, and I ended up making a little semicircle out of it and putting it around the wheel like this. Later on, I found out that like lead solder will work even better. It's way more malleable. You can bend it, and it was actually heavier. So put it around the wheel, put the tire back on it, foam and all. You couldn't even tell it was in there, and it 100% gave it a little bit more low end weight. Now I know rotational weight, not ideal. But when you have no aftermarket support at the moment for the SCX30, if you want to make this thing any better, you got to do something. So, anyways, I know y'all that follow me on Insta know that I came from, recently I came from microdrift. Microdrift is a super killer hobby. These things are, so high tech, and the machining and everything is just so insane on these things. And they use a Mini Z style wheel, all-wheel drive Mini Z style wheel. Well, the SCX30 does too. The axle shaft, you can put a drift wheel right on that bad boy, and she will mount right up. So I got to thinking. There's like one set of wheels. I think Enjora's advertised a set, but they don't have them on the site yet. Mofo's got some brass wheels on his site, but that's it. There's nothing out there right now for it. So I got to looking at some of my micro drift wheels that had adjustable offset, and I got to thinking, like, all that thing is missing is that groove, so the bead can set in it, and this thing would work. So what I ended up doing was taking an adjustable offset set of micro drift rims. I made a bead for it, and it's gonna work. It's gonna work good. But these are, like I said, resin printed wheels. This tire and wheel combo would be like stretching a 1.0 over a 1.2 wheel or something. It works. It's kind of cool if that's the look you're going for, if you're going for the mall crawler look, but I doubt you could put any weight underneath it without it like causing some like issues with the foam or whatnot. But micro drift wheels come in 3 different sizes: 20 millimeter, 22, and 22.5. These 22s I feel like are just a little bit too big. Very usable still, and some of y'all might like that, but a 20 millimeter rim would be so much better. And it's got way more offset than stock. So come along with me on a journey to modify some micro drift wheels to accept a SCX30 tire. That's the plan. Now look, I did this a minute ago with the resin printed adjustable offset wheel, and I actually recorded a video and was going to put it up. But like, if we're going to do this and we're going to do a first wheel setup on a SCX30. As far as I know, nobody's ever done it yet. We're going to go all out. We're going to do them out of aluminum 20 millimeter wheels with the same offset. So got these cheap on Amazon. I think they were like 15 bucks. They all came with the same offset, and it came with like a crazy out there offset, which if any of y'all are familiar with micro drift, if you have more than about a 1.5 millimeter offset in the front, it'll give you something called the gyro jitters. And they're just not really usable for any of my builds. I put them on them for pictures sometimes, but like I've never drifted with these things. So these wheels, I think a Bendor maybe makes them. These things are going to be the sacrificial rim for the SCX30. So, disclaimer, I have no clue what I'm doing. You are going to see this in real time. I have an idea in my head of how I want to do this, and I know how I did it on this wheel, but aluminum, it's a different subject. So, I don't have a whole lot I can cut into these things for. So, measuring them, I know it'll be in reverse, but it's 1.65 millimeters is the entire thickness of that thing. Okay, so I really need to try to at least make it about a millimeter deep. And it doesn't need one in the back because it's got the lip in the back. But honestly, it'd be nice if it had a little bit of a groove on the back as well. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because right now, I don't know. This could be a huge flop. This could absolutely, I could ruin a set of wheels. And y'all might never see this video. But if you're seeing this video, then we've had success. So, all right, boys. Let me get a couple things set up. Like I said, I'm doing this on the fly. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm going to try to... I really need a wheel lathe, but I don't have a wheel lathe. But you know what I do have? I've got a brain, and I've got a shop slap full of tools, and we're going to make one. Yeah, real quick, I wanted to add this. Your SCX30 wheels and tires. When you get these things unglued, I've actually got some... adhesive. It's called Instant Adhesive Cleaner. I get these at my local grocery store. It's made by a company called God, my eyes are getting so bad. Super Tight. Yeah, Super Tight. You can probably order this online. This is Instant Adhesive Remover. If you put this around the bead of the stock wheel, let them soak for a little bit, give them a little tug, it'll pop right off. It'll actually work for your 10 scale rigs and everything. So if you want to remove the glue off of your rims and tires without damaging your tires, give this stuff a try. Just be patient with it. Let it soak for a little while. Every now and again, give it a little tug. If it's not coming directly off, let the glue seep in there, or let that stuff seep in there. It will pull it off. And when you put a tire back on one of these rims, you can use super glue if you want. You can use tire glue if you want. But I assure you, with this SCX30, Elmer's Clear is plenty. Give it about 30 minutes, it dries. It will not spin. This thing doesn't have that much torque to actually spin the tire on it. And when you get ready to remove them, like this one is glued. When you get ready to remove them, pull them off. There's one of my brass rings I was telling you about. Just pull them off. When you're putting them on too, this is a little bonus footage you're getting here early in this game. When you put them back on, I'm gonna school you on this. Just pay attention. When you want to glue it back, just open a little crack up like that. Squirt you just a dab in there, and then spin the tire on the rim and make the glue go all the way around it. Take a wet rag, wipe off the excess, give it a minute to dry. Done. And if you ever need to pull them off, it's no problem. You're welcome. All right, let's go over here and get something set up. Let's do a, let's chop into a set of aluminum wheels. Guys, if the lighting is bad, I'm sorry. It is kind of dark in this shop, and I guess I've kind of gotten used to it, or I've learned how to feel my way around by braille. At first, I used the M2 rod for the 3D printed wheel, but the aluminum one, I really wanted that thing to hold steady. So I got in my spare parts kit, and I got a disassembled CV axle out of one of the kits. I put some tape around the end of it because I don't want to mess it up. There's nothing wrong with it, and you never know. You never know when you're going to need one. So what I'm doing, and hold right there, be right back. So I'm going to thread the axle into the wheel. We'll put a wheel nut on it so it don't come off. The problem I was having with the M2 rod was, depending on which way my drill was spinning, it wanted to back off. This right here is going to use the same little rectangle slot to hold it. But we're going to go ahead and put it in the drill. I'm going to butt it tight to the drill, just to also add a little bit of stability to it, because I really don't want to go crazy tight with the, I don't want to bend the axle. So, zip tie, battery off, the direction you want to go, okay? All right, I'm going to switch the camera around. It's old school wooden vise. This thing used to belong to my grandfather. He has since passed on, and we are still getting good use out of it. So thank you, grandfather. Love you. Freaking, he was an awesome man. The hard act to follow, that's for sure. So, we are in second gear. Battery not installed, so trigger is fully depressed. Now listen, I ended up the first go around with the 3D print. I used a screwdriver that I was never going to use again, and I cut it, notched it, and made like a mini chisel. And whereas I think that would still work on this, we're just gonna use our common sense and say, yeah, it's a hacksaw. I'm gonna let the drill do all the work. That way I can make sure that it is not gonna be, you know, too deep. Let's hope we don't go too deep. We're gonna make sure that the teeth are going the right direction that we're spinning. Yes, it does make a difference. It says on there to put that side towards the handle. That's for a reason. All right, so here we go. Get ready. Cross your fingers, guys. Boy, you're gonna have to be careful because that thing is really eating that off of there. I'm flipping the blade around just to kind of check my depth. I'd say at those speeds, it'll probably, when it goes, it'll go quickly. Take our battery back loose. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't believe this is going to work out first go around. This is going to be a good video, boys. It's going to be a good video. All right, now, let's go over here and check our work. Guys, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a decent groove cut in that thing. So now, we're just going to slide on the wheel, give her a test fit, see what she looks like. craziest part about this is too, is I have a leftover TG brake caliper and disc kit left over that I'm not going to use on a micro drift rig. And I'm thinking that I can make this work as well. All I got to do is drill 2 holes in this to match the holes on the axle. And I can have disc brakes on my SCX30 with custom aluminum wheels. Bulls, I love when a plan comes together. Well, not really plan, but like I love when something comes together like this. So having all that sidewall is going to allow me, if I need to go get some lead solder like I did, you know, those other ones, and wrap it around the wheel. A little bit bigger. Take my time, get it on there, maybe even 2-side tape it. Pair of pliers here. You got to be careful with these aluminum wheels, though. You will jack these things up if you ain't careful. You can even try to push a micro drift tire off of it. If you ain't careful, depending on how thin the aluminum is, you can warp the heck out of one. That's why I love the micro drift tire changer that Justin Roundabush made with Backyard RC. Like, guy's super talented, super cool guy, making useful stuff with his 3D printer. Y'all with 3D printers, y'all are really looking at that. By the way, this is off subject, but y'all are really looking at that, I think, wrong in a lot of cases. You should be looking at that 3D printer like a hammer. It's a tool. You should be using it as a tool. A lot of people buy a 3D printer and boom, they have a business. Etsy. Up. Like, you know, maybe you should learn the tool first. Just saying. Hope I didn't offend anybody, but if I did, well, sorry, it had to be said. 2025, the year that everybody got a freaking 3D printer. Hopefully 2026, y'all are all going to learn how to use the damn things. I'm just kidding. All right, not really, but kind of. Anyways, but yeah. And subscribership just went down. Anyways, fitting the metal in it and all. And let's see here. Let me get my scales out. See what we weigh. The micro drift rim with the solder around it weighed like 7.75, something like that. And we're going to be at... Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. 9.23. Man, this is going to be so cool. First set of aluminum rims for the SCX30. Weighted aluminum rims, might I add, if I decide to put that in there. So, I'm not going to put you through the torture of watching me do that to 3 more. But I'm going to magically snap my fingers and show you the end result. If I can get the wheel on. I didn't struggle at making it, but like we're going to struggle at getting the wheel on after the fact. This is something in micro drift too that's aggravated shit out of me my whole life. So when you go to mount the wheel, the freaking square part pushes in the axle and you don't know if it's centered or not. Let's put it on the back. I'll struggle with the front off camera. Get on there, you little thing. There we go. These weren't the highest quality wheels. to be honest. $15, what do you expect, right? Boom! Aluminum. Good offset. I might even end up having to trim the fenders on this thing. For a one-off custom set of wheels, a possible first in the world, I'll trim some fenders. I got another body coming for this thing anyway. My buddy Carnage RC, if you haven't seen, he has made a Jeep body for this SCX30 that is absolutely mind-blowing. The guy just, he knocks it out of the park every single time. If you would, go check out his website, Carnage RC, and he has that file for sale. It's for personal use only, though. No buying the file and selling it to everybody. That would just be wrong. So, don't be wrong. Do the right thing. Just buy the file. Enjoy the file yourself. Anyways, so let's see what this thing looks like. So boys and girls, it was a long night last night. The wheels fit amazing. It looks great. It is more than I expected. And then that brake kit started taunting me. I was trying to mind my own business, do my own thing, and then that brake kit just kept like this. I could hear it in the back of my head, like, "Are you gonna do it or not?" So y'all saw my post on Insta. You know it was a success. They are on there, and the disc does move through the caliper independently, so it looks like a legit brake kit. This thing was a pain in the hind end. This was hard to put on here. I did try to film some of the process, and at a certain point, it was such a disaster that I was like, well, that's not going to get filmed. Because, like, I don't recommend anybody do this kind of stuff to your crawler unless you are super experienced and you are okay with screwing stuff up. Because it's a very good possibility when you start doing stuff like that. The rears weren't that big a deal. There's literally a bracket that just about the top half of the bracket catches the same screw that holds the bearing in. And I literally just took off a little bit of the plastic where the bracket would mount. So the bracket and the bearing are all flush. And the screw actually holds the bearing and the bracket on, just with the little lip on the screw. Actually holds pretty good. The rear was pretty easy. The front, oh my gosh, talk about freaking nuts. I've stabbed myself in the hand with a pin vise with the little guys racing pin vise, which I highly recommend if you're going to do custom stuff to an RC. Like, this thing has been a lifesaver. This is a killer kit. I have just about broke every one of the like reaming bits in it though. Don't drop them. Don't. But they have drill bits in here that are so small, it's hard to even tell they're a drill bit. But they are as sharp as hypodermic needles, and if you slip off of something, they pierce flesh really, really good. Trust me, my finger hurts today. But shout out, little guys. This is. I'll end up buying another one of those when I dull every bit in that thing, which it comes with a ton of bits. But anyways, I ended up in the front knuckle. So Axial has made the knuckle look as legit as possible, and almost looks like, you know, it has the bolt pattern like you're bolting like a planetary set on, you know, a four-wheel drive truck. But in my head, I was like, okay, let's take one of these, you know, little teeny tiny drill bits. Right there where one of those, you know, fake bolt pattern holes is. Drill a hole and mount that up. Ended up being a little bit more intense than that. Ended up having to take the knuckle off, sand a complete millimeter off the face of it, where the bearing actually hung out of the housing about a millimeter. Then drill the holes. Then make that screw almost act like the screw in the back. The screw actually holds the bearing in and grabs the bracket as well. Okay. That brake kit was made to go on a 22 millimeter wheel. And the 20 millimeter wheels, it just about, if I end up having to take a Dremel and sand the back of the caliper off to where it would actually clear the rim, then where I mounted where I screwed the bracket on, I didn't have any flat-faced, beveled style screws. I just had the stock axial Phillips head screw that comes with the SCX30, which, by the way, axial, what the heck? Like, those things are the hardest to actually even get started anything. I have looked for a machine precision screwdriver that would fit that thing perfectly all damn night long. Like, I've tried every screwdriver, and I've got plenty of screwdrivers. I've got screwdrivers for days, and I never could find anything that worked worth a crap. And trying to get those things started is ridiculous. And this blue mat that I work off of, those screws just disappear on this thing. Like, they could be right in front of you, and you cannot see them at all. I can't, at least. I'm about half blind, though. Anyways, so the front was pretty extensive. This axial will probably stay like this with stock plastic axles for the rest of its life. A good friend of mine on here offered to send me some brass knuckles and said he was going to. I'll send him my address. Well, I'll just have to buy another one of these because, like, this one is more than likely going to stay right here. I don't know that I could mount the brake kit to a brass knuckle in the front. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But this one has been so much pain in the butt, and one side's got glue on it because I think I stripped a screw trying to over tighten it. So this one will probably stay just like this for the remainder of his life. And I'm okay with it because it looks pretty rad. Like, I can see a lot of possibilities for these little things. I see some cues from the micro drift world. The Mini Z style, all-wheel drive style axle shaft. I can just see all kinds of possibilities for upgrades and stuff in the future that will make this super, super cool. You know, not being a whole lot out for this right yet. You're just kind of having to make this stuff up on your own. You know, very limited on bodies, but my good friend Daniel at Carnage RC, he made a two-door Jeep Cherokee body that is absolutely amazing. Go check his page out, his website, Carnage RC. He has the file available for that Jeep. Comes with an interior, headlights, the whole 9 yards. But the file is for personal use only. Don't go buy the file and turn around and sell it like some jackwad thief. That's not how that's supposed to go, okay? You are stealing money from Daniel. Buy the file, use it for personal use, and just enjoy it. That's all there is to it. What's right is right, and buying that file and then opening an Etsy, you know, and selling that body that he made for a profit on your end, that's just not a cool thing. And I see it too damn often. It's one of the reasons I made a comment a minute ago about the 3D printer that I did. There's too many people out there that have not paid their dues, learning how to use CAD and every other thing to make these things what they are. There's too many people out there that just find a file, steal it, buy it, whatever, and then just regurgitate that and not know how to fix anything with it, and that's how they make their money. It's not right, guys, and it's actually putting kind of a bad spin on what we do for, you know, this hobby. There's a lot of people that really put their time and effort in to custom doing these bodies, that know how to change things in CAD and everything else. And those are the guys I respect in this, not the ones that just blatantly steal a file and boop, hit print and hey, $20, give me 20. But no, it's not cool. Not cool at all. Learn how to use your tool. You know, be a good guy. That's all I can say about that. I'm going to quit talking about that. So anyways, yep, it's the last time I put a brake kit. well, a TG Super Brake Kit on an SCX30. It was a pain in the butt. But I'm going to end by saying Merry Christmas to all of y'all. It has been an interesting year in the crawler hobby. Like, I dig it. The crawler community is probably one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. The micro drift community, I met a lot of killer people, but there was more drama surrounding Facebook groups and the power that they have because they have a ton of followers in a group. It was neither here nor there, but like the crawler community, I do not get that vibe off of. The crawler community is awesome for the most part, very supportive, and you know, a lot of people reach out to me personally telling me that they appreciate my content and such, and that means the world to me because, like, man, a lot of this stuff's just off the cuff. I just, you know, it's just kind of what I'm doing during the day. And, you know, a lot of you guys like that stuff, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm kind of rough around the edges. What you see is what you get with me. You know what I'm saying? Some people like me, some people hate me, and I'm cool with both. So, but I'm going to end it with saying Merry Christmas and a few shots of this thing. Crawling on the rocks out here in the sunshine. It's a beautiful day. We're supposed to have like 70 for Christmas, 70 degrees for Christmas here, which is kind of crazy. We actually had a thunderstorm last night. Thunder, Christmas. I've had it happen before, but it's rare. But so, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this encourages you to get out and just try something. Try something different. Just, who knows? If it doesn't work out, you know, what's the worst that can happen? You have to buy some more parts. You're going to do that anyways. All right, guys. Let's see how this thing does.